Welcome to About the Winelands. In this show, we will be chatting to leaders, influencers, wine producers, restaurants, and other role players. Tune in every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday for your latest episodes. You will find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram TV, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Google Podcast. Good day, everyone, and welcome back to About the Winelands. Today I'm chatting with the marketing manager of Klein Welmoed, Loriane Grobbelaar. Hi, Loriane, and welcome to About the Winelands.
Oh, well, thank you so much for your time.
It's a pleasure. How are you enjoying your time being locked down?
No, it's a great time to reflect and to to get everything up to date. But it's been a while now, and I think everybody is about to get back into the industry to see all the old faces and to get things going again.
Well, hopefully that will happen soon. So, Loriane, tell us a bit about yourself and how did you become involved in the wine industry?
Um, well, it's actually been so many years. It's always been a part of me and my life, and kind of where I come from. My mom used to work at Nederberg many years ago. She used to work for Nederberg. She was actually doing working with Günter Brusel,
Wow.
and then she was at Nederberg for many years. And obviously, when I came along, that's where I grew up, in the vineyards, in the offices, in the tasting room, just amongst all these beautiful, wonderful old stalwarts from Nederberg, really. Yeah, and then I started studying in Stellenbosch, and then I had a car. I needed petrol, and I needed money to have fun with. And weekends, I spent my time, in the tasting room at Nederberg, helping out and doing wine tours. And that's what I did. So I got some nice extra work over weekends, and that's where my passion really started, for the wine industry. And that's about 20, 21, 22, probably about 23 years ago. So that's basically my background. And I've been part of the wine industry ever since, working for various farms, various sectors in the industry. So I feel very blessed that I've been able to do so many things in the industry, because it's so vast and it's so beautiful to be part of this industry. You learn a lot.
I can believe that. I say, how long have you been with Klein Welmoed and Foothills Vineyards?
It's coming up for about 3 years now, Will.
Okay, it's
Yeah,
quite a
about 3 years. And yeah, it's been about 3 years now, June, July. It's been about 3 years. And prior to that, used to work for Distel for many years.
mhm.
Um, and Reeboks Kloof, I used to work for Reeboks Kloof. I've done some sales for Springfield and for Jordan. So yeah, many beautiful, amazing big names in the industry that I was able to work for.
Well, that's the blessing, right? So, can you give us a bit of history of the estate?
Yeah, well, it's such a beautiful little hidden away gem. Um, Klein Welmoed, many years ago, and I firmly believe this. I think when about 100 years ago, everybody had this name. They wanted to call every farm Klein Welmoed. There's about, I think, just in our area, there's about 3 or 4 farms called Klein Welmoed, but we called Klein Welmoed Wine and Olive Estate. And about 15 years ago, Glenn Hess and Tim Featherby, they bought the farm from the Meyerbergs. And then they basically took out everything that was on the farm. So it used to be a fruit farm, and way back when it used to be a tobacco farm.
Wow.
So I don't know if you know Wraithby. It's a little tiny community just outside of Stellenbosch.
Yeah, I know exactly where it is.
So it's a beautiful little hidden away area in Stellenbosch. And there's a few wine farms. There's a few of us on that road. But so Glenn, Hess, and Tim bought the farm about 15 years ago, took out all the fruit trees, and just reinvented this old style estate. Um, that's when Benny Boyson was also employed. He's our viticulturist and our winemaker. So he does both. And he consulted, I think, with Glenn and with Tim, and three of them basically took the farm to where it is now. All three of them hugely passionate about the wine industry. All three incredible people, really, and they make a great team. Yeah, and I think Benny decided to plant, it was Shiraz, some Sauvignon Blanc, some Semillon, some Viognier. So there's quite a lot of viticulture, on the farm itself. And we've got the farm's about 40 hectares big, and we've got a tiny bit of olive trees as well that we produce some nice olive oil from.
Well, that's awesome. So when a guest come to your estate, what can they experience? I see that your wine tastings are only open with by invitation. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we've actually been, been thinking, should we open up a tasting room? And it's one of the things that we're looking at doing. But what we're doing at the moment, or before lockdown, and it works for us really well. We host some really nice wine tastings on the farm. So we invite industry colleagues, we invite guests, clients, customers. We invite to the farm, and then we basically do this nice, like a wine tasting experience on the farm. I'll do a presentation, Benny will do a presentation, we'll do some, we'll taste some of the wines, we'll go for vineyard walks. So we do quite a lot of wine functions, I'll say. And we've also been doing some food and wine evenings on the farm. But we are obviously always open to people coming to the farm. I'm there most days. The days that I'm not in the trade, I am working on the farm. So it's always nice to see, when people arrive and they're at the gate and they say, oh, they've never seen or they've never tasted our wine, can they come in? And obviously everybody will be welcomed with open arms and with a glass of bubbly.
Hey, there you go. Now you've invited the whole world.
So my cell phone number is actually on the gate. So whenever people arrive, they just phone me so I can open the gate for my office. And I do prefer drinking wine instead of doing some admin. That's what I love doing. So yeah, you're welcome to pop in.
There you go.
When we're allowed.
You also offer accommodation on the estate. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yes, well, we've got a beautiful boutique guest house on the farm. Consists of about 5 self-catering cottages, each with underfloor heating, and it's very luxurious and it's absolutely stunning. Yeah, we host quite a lot of conferences, small weddings, and events. So when people do conferencing, they can stay on the farm in the guest house. We've got a lovely conference facility, but it's just a really nice hidden away venue for guests, even now going forward. If people want to, and we're allowed to, if we can go out and go and spend some time on a farm, I can actually encourage people to come to the farm, because you are going to be self-isolated actually on the farm, because you won't be able to see people, because we're tucked away and you can just do your own thing. So the guest house is a 4.5-star guest house. Well, in my mind, it's a 5-star guest house, and it's absolutely beautiful and peaceful and tranquil. You can go for lovely walks on the farm, some nice birding. We've got some exquisite birds on the farm. Obviously, I'm not leaving the wine out. I mean, you can have breakfast. You can have wine for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Yeah, it's a lovely little gem, the guest house.
Okay, awesome. So your corporate conferences, how many people can you actually accommodate for that?
Well, easy, we can do about 80 to 100. We can do quite easily. Yeah.
So that's quite convenient, because you also, with your location is not too far from the airport. So somebody that wants to come do something in the Winelands can easily come do it at your place.
That's what it makes it such an ideal place, Will, is the fact that we are about 20 minutes from Cape Town Airport. We're about 10 minutes from the R44. So, in terms of being central, we're right there, literally 20 minutes from the airport, from Stellenbosch to Somerset West. So you're accessible. You can access bigger cities like Stellenbosch and Somerset West and even Cape Town. But then you can also be quite private, on the farm, which makes it a really, really nice venue for that. We've actually had quite a lot of conferencing meetings happening. Delegates from Joburg, actually international groups, have visited us.
Wow.
And they come year after year, they come back to stay by us. And obviously word of mouth is such a wonderful thing, and it makes our industry so beautiful as people talk, and we don't we haven't been around for many, many years like, all our other peers. But I think when people start talking, and when there's something special and nice about a place, people do go by word of mouth.
Yeah, that's true. So, in terms of your olive production, right? You said you have a small olive grove. Your olive oil, where's that sold?
Well, at the moment, we're selling our olive oil from the farm. We've got a few outlets in Stellenbosch and Somerset West. Not huge. Our production is about 5,000 bottles. So, because Glenn and Tim are our directors, they live in KZN, they live in Pietermaritzburg. They do take a bit of our olive oil and they sell it up in Pietermaritzburg along with our wines. The olive oil is mainly found on the farm. We don't produce that huge amount to have a huge retail following, but we'll probably get there. But at the moment, it's only from the farm itself.
Okay, interesting. So let's talk about the important stuff. Tell us a little bit. I mean, I can hear you want to talk about the wine, so tell us a little bit about the wines.
It's good you think I'm thirsty. We've got actually, for a small little wine farm, we've got a huge range. We've got about 11 wines in our portfolio. The biggest production would be our Sauvignon Blanc, and then we've got the Shiraz. We've got the Semillon and the Viognier. So there's about 11 wines in our portfolio, and all quite unique. All 11 of them are beautiful, unique wines. We're blessed because we have that lovely ocean breeze, coming from the Atlantic Ocean, swooping over our vineyards. So we have that happening every day on the farm. It's a beautiful thing to actually experience. It's as the crow flies, about 5 kilometers from False Bay. But I think in terms of production, the biggest amount that we will produce, or the biggest wine in our portfolio, would be the Sauvignon Blanc, and then after that would be the Cedar. And that's very, very popular. We do sell that in most of the retail shops in our area, Stellenbosch and Somerset West, and also in Cape Town. So, lovely old style wines. We've got, the Cedar, we've got the Shiraz as well. I think a lot of people get quite confused because there's two, but essentially, as you know, they are the same wines, but it's two different styles of winemaking. So the Cedar that's our new vintage, 2017, is a lovely old style, French-inspired, red wine, where our Shiraz is a beautiful South African, kind of juicy, big red wine offering. So I can definitely encourage people to look out for that, in the shelves. And then our Sauvignon Blanc is just lovely and fresh and ripe and crisp, and especially because of that lovely terroir and the where we're situated. So we do really benefit from the climate in our area.
Oh, that's awesome. Just a quick interruption, but I do need to remind you that we are currently in a very difficult time. The South African government has set up a fund where businesses and individuals can donate to support our country through this crisis. Go to the website now and add your small donation. www.solidarityfund.co.za. Please join us all in the fight against COVID-19. That is at www.solidarityfund.co.za. Now, let's get on with the show. So, besides local sales, do you export as well?
We do export. We exported actually quite a big amount to Europe. So we've got some great colleagues in Germany and in the Netherlands, and then also now in Belgium that we export to. So we've got a nice following in Europe, and it's definitely picking up. It took a while for us to expand our produce. And I think, as a brand and as a, as a very, very small wine estate, we obviously our volumes, we can't really compete with the bigger guys out there, but it's the amount that we produce is actually just perfect for what we're doing at the moment. We are blessed to be able to export, and then we're also blessed to send it into our local market. And every year, we basically sell out of each vintage. So, and it really, really it makes me happy, as a salesperson. It makes me very happy. And I think also, we're going somewhere. The farm itself is definitely getting a little bit more awareness. There's a bit more awareness out there. So, yeah, we love doing what we can at the moment. The local market is very important for us, but then also, the export that we're doing now, makes us very proud.
Well, that's amazing. So, I mean, with the coronavirus and the lockdowns and stuff like that, everyone has to really start rethinking their business models. So, do you
Yeah.
guys have any changes or new ideas in mind on that front?
Yeah, well, look, we've got to keep up with the times, and things are evolving, even in normal times, if I can put it
Mm.
like that. But we really, from a sales perspective, we've got to be really innovative, and we've got to think, out of the box. And because we're a multifaceted business, we've got the guest house, we've got the wines, we've got the olive oil. So I think ideally, what I'd like to do is just incorporate, all three kind of sectors from the estate. The wine itself, we're going to have to do, what I'm doing with you now is such a beautiful thing, that you've got this platform so that people can actually talk about their products and their ranges and their wines. So thank you for having this platform, because I think this is also going forward. This would be a very important platform for salespeople, and especially wine people, to talk about it, and for people to experience the product, maybe not always having the product in hand, but to be able to talk about it, with passion and with love, because that's what make people buy wine. Hey, it's stories, and people talking about wine and where it comes from, and stories of the owners and the winemakers, and the dog on the farm, and the Ikuya and Iskapa. In
That's
my
true.
mind, when I talk about wine, when I do wine shows, I always I want to talk from my heart and from experience, and I think that's what makes people buy that bottle of wine, and then also they remember the wine. So I think going forward, is having a platform like this, maybe doing wine sales, online wine sales.
Mhm.
It's a safer option. Yeah, doing interaction on virtual interaction like we're doing now, I think, going forward. And then obviously from the guest house point of view, I think that's going forward, we might be able to, the guest house, I think people will be aching to go somewhere else and just to experience something other than four walls that they've been staring at for the last 5 weeks or 4 weeks. And so I'm totally positive that this too shall pass, and we will get through to the other side. And when people do want to come out to the guest house, or they want to come and visit the farm, they're definitely very, very welcome to pop in, to come and stay by us. I would really, really encourage people to come and have a look and see if it's somewhere where they would like to come for weekends, or even a midweek breakaway.
Well, I think you're right. I mean, once things are a little bit more back to normal, people will be itching to get out. So any, local, especially local tourism will really increase. In terms of virtual experiences, I mean, I think that is something, you're right. That trend has been there, but it's now been escalated and really speeded up. That people need
Yeah.
to start thinking about this stuff, right? And yeah, I mean, I'm pretty open to having virtual wine tastings and all kinds of stuff. The more we talk about the wine, and the more people get awareness, the more interesting it is for people. And there's no reason why we can't share a bottle of wine, talking to people. Like you say, your directors are in KwaZulu-Natal. I mean, people can
Yeah.
actually, I assume people phone each other regularly now, with all these new technologies and stuff. There's no reason why
Yeah,
people can't do a virtual wine tasting and get more people involved. And
Yeah.
I think the other thing that will happen is once we get back to, physical tastings and physical things, there's going to be an interaction between things happening in the physical world and things in the virtual world. I see that trend a lot when I talk to people about conferencing, where
Yeah.
where conferences are now adding a virtual capability where people can stream in, they stream the conference live, and people can log in from a outside
Yeah.
destination and also get the information. So I think those things are
Yeah.
really things to look at.
And it opens up our it opens up to everybody and everything. And I think we are able to just access so many more ears and people. And like I've been seeing how people do all sorts of things online, and it actually, I think it inspires people to also do other things online. And really, I think it is the way the future is being molded, in a very strange way. Now, I would love to have a glass of wine with somebody sitting in KZN. I mean, having my viewpoints and listening to somebody else's viewpoints, 1,000 or 900 kilometers away. I think it's a wonderful experience, and to be able to do that, or even abroad. So yeah, I definitely I quite like the idea, and I think we should all just uh, be aware that things will. I don't think our industry will ever be 100% the same again. So we all need to kind of adapt to new ways and new things going forward.
Yeah, I think it's going to be better, right? People, I
Yeah.
mean, I've talked to lots of people about this, and people forget that our world has been through the Great Depression, two world wars, and
Yeah.
actually, people are social animals. 18 months from now, we've all forgotten it. This will be the talk in every bar and every
Yeah.
wine tasting in every restaurant and stuff like that, and then we'll have a new thing happening, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Yep.
So, Lorraine, your wine journey has been quite fascinating. So, what is the most important thing that you've learned from your wine journey?
Gosh, well, there's so many facets to that question. I think as a well, being part of this industry has taught me to realize actually that everybody, we're all on the same train going the same way. We're all going somewhere. We want the same things for our brands and for whatever and whoever we're working for. But I think treating people with respect and treating people with treating people the same, I think is a big thing for me. The people that pick the grapes, the guys that actually do the pruning, the guys that actually make the wine, the farm owners. I think for me, it's an important thing to, and I would like to actually, yeah, for me, it needs to be, everybody needs to be treated the same, because everybody's on the same journey, and everybody is contributing massively to this beautiful industry, to the winemaking process. So I think, yeah, just treating people with respect and the same, and just kind of taking hands as an industry, taking hands as a farm, as farm workers, as directors, and just going together, going forward together. That's what, yeah, that's quite important for me. I think in my day-to-day life, respect is a huge thing, and I think in our industry, I do find that I think there is a huge amount of respect in our industry. I think there's so many amazing people, there's so many amazing things happening in our industry. So I think that's quite an important aspect for me. Yeah, is respect.
Can you give us your very own wine quote or your favorite wine quote?
I think a celebration of taste and a celebration of life. I think from our estate, we everything that we do, we do with a lot of love and a lot of passion. And it's almost like handcrafted. The brand and what we do on the estate. But I think a celebration of taste would be our motto. And if I had to put that on a bumper sticker, I think that would be my bumper sticker. Celebration of taste.
Awesome. Lorraine,
Yeah.
how do people get hold of you guys if they want more information? Or, I mean, I know your cell phone number is on the farm gate, but is there any other way for people to get hold of you?
Well, yeah, Instagram, Facebook, email address. I've got it all. You can contact me in any of those ways. And then really just popping up on the farm and just making contact. Bring your friends. If you want to do a Friday evening, I think it was just before we started, or just before the whole the COVID-19 thing happened. We were actually talking about having Friday evening sunset events on the farm, because it actually lends itself to that. We've got a beautiful big stoop area where we can sit. There's a beautiful pool, so just wanted to incorporate that, and the pool and the sunset and the just a big beautiful trees. Do wine tastings on the farm on Friday evenings. Gathering people from 3 to 4 to and 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoons until whenever at night. But we are definitely, we'd like to still do that
That
going
sounds
forward,
awesome.
and yeah, we'd love to do that. So I think when everything's back to normal again, I'm going to do mailers. I'll put it on our Facebook page. It's just getting people to the farm, letting them experience the farm and the wines, the olive oils, and just really what we do, because it's all kind of hands on deck. Everybody's just lekker. Almal is baie lekker, amazing mense op die plaas. Almal werk lekker saam. So I just really want people to come out, come visit us, and come and get your wine from us on the farm, and your olive oil, and just pop in and say hi, and come and stay on the farm. Do your conferencing, come get married there, have a birthday on the farm. So yeah, I'll encourage people to get in contact with me if they want any of those
Right.
things.
Loriane, that's awesome. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. It was a pleasure talking
Thank
to
you.
you. Thank you for supporting our show. If you would like to get more exposure for your business, please have a look at our sponsorship options. Thanks again for supporting About the Winelands. Please follow us on YouTube and on our social media channels. All details and links are in the description.